Rev up your engines!
Well, how'd you like to be like this couple? They spent $525,000 cash for an RV, and they're now living at a service center for 6 weeks and counting because it doesn't work right. Now, I made a video a while back because I found out that these companies that make RVs, the quality of them is often garbage these days. They have a problem getting labor, trained labor that can make it. They don't pay them that much money. They end up with crappy products. Guy brought me an RV last year, and he showed me, he said, look, this isn't mine, it's my father's. He said, look, the thing isn't even a year old, and it's falling apart. Pieces were falling off of it. It came with cheap Chinese tires that they immediately took off for safety reasons, put good American tires on it instead. The quality is nothing. Now, could you imagine if you paid $525,000 for a new RV, and then it's not working and it's sitting for 6 weeks, and you're living in the service center in the thing while you're waiting to get it fixed? David and Ariana were newlyweds. Can you imagine newlyweds? You buy this thing, and then boom. Now this one is made by a company called Tiffin, and it was a 2024 Tiffin Zephyr. Just the name itself, Zephyr, makes you kind of think, I wonder about this. To begin with, the list price of this thing was $700,000. Woo-wee, right? Well, maybe that should make you wonder why they sold it to $700,000 unit for $525,000 cash. That tells you. I know years ago, when I was doing a gig with CBS TV in Houston, I went to a RV place that was in the north part of town. I filmed stuff. It was funny. I was sitting on top of one of the RVs singing King of the Road. It was pretty funny. After all the shooting was done, the camera guy left. I'm talking to the owner of the RV park. And I said, would you drive one of these? He said, heck no. He says, I stay in hotels. These things, oh man, they're endless money pits. You get a new one, immediately it loses about half its value. They get dirty, covered with mold, horrible gas smudge. You got to park. What a lot of people don't understand, you got to stay at the RV parks because that's the only place they let you park the things. So you don't have any freedom at all. You're kind of like you're in a trailer park land, riding around something you paid, in this case, $525,000 for, right? The first half hour driving, it started pouring rain. Rain started coming because they didn't seal the windshield right. Then the hot water heater didn't work. Then there was a hole in the ceiling. Then the heat pumps and the AC would throw water inside. Then there were overheating issues at the rear of the cooling unit. And some stuff melted. It got that hot. Then they had a problem with the auto leveling system. Twisted frame every 2 or 3 days to be twisted because it wouldn't level it right. And they had a litany of other problems with it too. So maybe not buy an RV, especially one for $525,000 smackers. It was originally $700,000 smackers. The quality just isn't there. You pay all that money. I do have to say, the majority of the people I met who had bought RVs never bought a second one. After the first one, it was like, bleh. Who wants to deal with all this crap? Gasoline is expensive. Diesel is expensive. You know, some of these things get 3-4 miles a gallon if they got a gasoline engine. And with the diesels, they get better, but still, you know, you're not even going to get 10 miles a gallon on one of these big ones. It's just big monstrosities. So but they're not even built, right? It's kind of amazing. All that money, the thing's falling apart the minute he bought it. Well, the big question is, Ford, are they repeating their mistake? Now, a few years back, remember Ford said, we're not going to make cars anymore. They're making a Mustang, that's it. We're going to make SUVs and trucks. And why? Because if you look at the statistics and the economics, trucks and SUVs only cost marginally more to produce than cars, but they can sell for 2 or 3 times as much. For example, the other day, a guy came over here with a used Ram truck. I was checking it out, telling him if it was a good truck. Right? I said, well, I'm not really a fan of Ram. Why are you buying this used Ram truck? He said, because I wanted a Ford fully loaded. And I looked at the new ones, and they were $91,000. He ended up buying a used Ram for like $30,000, so I can't blame him. It's a 1/3 the price for a nice-looking vehicle. It was still running good. It was late model. It had like 40,000 miles on it. Should still have a bit of life left in it, right? Ford is now saying, we're going to make low-cost electric vehicles. Well, let's see the handwriting on the wall. Ford is already losing billions. They're predicting they might lose $5.5 billion this year building electric vehicles. Now, imagine if they actually could make electric vehicles that cost like $20,000 or $24,000. They probably lose even more money because it would cost them more money to build that, and they're selling them at a cheap price. They're not making a profit. You can't turn around something you've been doing. It's like bigger, more profit, more luxury. serious. Oh, we're going to make a cheap car now. If you really look at the history of Ford and cheap cars, they made some pretty crappy cars. From the 1970s on, when Ford tried to make small cars, they made a lot of junk. Pinto, Focus, Fiesta, they made some pretty crappers, right? And to think that they're going to make small electric cars that actually work out with unproven technology, hey, maybe Ford is going to take yet another wrong turn. Well, like I warned you, electric battery cars aren't ready for prime time. Well, here's some information that's now contradicting what the electric car makers said about batteries. Now, if you notice, a lot of the new cars aren't using the lithium-ion batteries. They're using the lithium iron phosphate batteries that are called LFP. Now, the LFP batteries are cheaper to make. They claim they're more stable, and they said that, oh, you can charge them up and you won't have any problems. Well, now they're saying the exact opposite. A new study says that these lithium iron phosphate batteries degrade faster when they're fully charged. They said, oh yeah, don't worry, you can charge those full all you want. Well, I knew that was a myth because I have used lithium iron phosphate batteries, and I found you charge them up fully, they degrade, and some of them that I had broke within less than a year. The study found that repeated charging at a higher state of charge, 100%, increases negative reactions within the pack. Now, first they told us, oh, these are better batteries. Oh, they can be charged fully, blah, blah, blah. Now, oh, gee, maybe not. Now, we all know why they're using them, because they're cheaper to make. It's cheaper making lithium iron than lithium ion. That's why they use them. And now they're saying, oh, golly gee, we might have been wrong about that. You charge them to 100%, you're going to have problems. Now, if you look at any of the cars that have the lithium-ion batteries, the ones that they generally start out with, they usually limit the charging to either 80% or 90%. I had a Tesla here the other day. It stopped charging at 80% when I was charging it up with my charger for the customer. They're trying to give you this line of baloney, and the truth seems to be that, no, you can't charge these lithium iron phosphate batteries 100%, or they start to degrade. And what they were telling people before was always make sure you charge your lithium iron phosphate batteries to 100%. So they keep their memory. They had this idea that, well, if you charge them to 80%, they're going to have a memory of 80, and they're just going to stick at that, and you're going to lose 20%, right? Like I said, this technology is not ready for prime time. Don't waste your money on it, because they're all lying to you. Then later, oh, gee, I guess we were wrong. Will you get your money back? No, of course not. Well, you know how the eco boys keep lying to us. Oh, solar panels are going to save the planet. Well, guess what? Another solar plant has been halted in the United States. They were going to build it, and now they're not. Swiss Solar said on Monday it was suspending plans to build their plant in Colorado that they promised they were going to build, right? I'm sure they got government subsidy money for it, too. Guess what? People aren't buying a stupid thing. There's a glut of them. They don't work all that well. And yeah, if that's the future's looking pretty bleak, right? And what did they say? We're restructuring our company so that profitability would be higher than previously expected, because they're not making any money selling the stupid things, right? There's a glut of them on the market. They don't work that well. They take up space. They're ugly. Hail damages them. They have a limited lifespan. Then you have to buy another one. Let's face it. Solar panels are ugly, and they don't put up all that much electricity for the space that they take up. And now, of course, they're finding out they don't make financial sense. As Meyer Burger said, our solar cell production facility in Colorado Springs is no longer financially viable for the company due to recent developments, and that project will therefore be discontinued. Yeah, recent developments, meaning nobody wants to buy the stupid things. They don't work all that well, and they cost too much money. JM 102897 says, what's the remedy for a mouse under the hood? Well, a cat. What else? Put the cat under the hood, right? They actually make ultrasonic devices that you can hook up to your car, 12-volt ones. They don't use much power. And it generally chases them away. Now, the thing is, if they have a nest and there's baby mice, the mother will not leave. So you got to wait until the babies are gone. Then if you put it in, they generally will not like the sound. It's an ultrasonic pulsating sound. And I always wondered, gee, is this real or not? Because I got them from my old house in Houston that doesn't exist anymore. It had more holes in it than Swiss cheese, and the mice were always getting in the winter, getting in the walls. Behind our bed, we'd beat the walls. You'd hear beep, 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 beep. So I stuck some of those in there, and they actually work. But I always have to test things out, so I thought, okay, it's ultrasonic. We can't hear it. How do I know it's even doing anything? Maybe they're just ripping me off. So I have these things called the Marksman that are ultrasonic headphones. and a receiving unit. And I turned it on, and lo and behold, when I turned those little mice devices on, I heard the ultrasonic sounds, and they go up and down, and it drives the mice crazy. You can get one of those and stick it in there. And of course, if you have anybody who leaves food lying around, don't leave any food lying around, because that will attract the mice in the first place. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.